Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. A lot has happened in the last week or so, man. I lost my channel, came back up. Justin Roiland's name is now a hashtag. Dan Harmon's name is now trending, and there's a lot more here to unpack with the Cartoon Network fiasco and the background of Rick and Morty and their ties to pedophile-based cartoons. Now, before I get into this deep, Michael Avenatti popped back up in the QAnon post yesterday. I guess he knew about the hit attempt from the missile launch on Trump back in June, I think, June 10th. All right, so I just want to add to this conversation. Now, I follow Neon Revolt. I don't read everything that he writes, but I do follow his work. He has groundbreaking work. Neon Revolt is generally the first person to take things off of the chans, form a story, and put it online on a blog. So shout out to Neon Revolt. But he had this question. This question's been passed around. It's been kind of simmering for a while. I don't know how we missed it. But the question about this is there's this cryptic post from Stormy Daniels talking about how she's not the one paying Avenatti. And there was a theory, okay, a hypothesis saying that Stormy Daniels has been branded, okay? She has been branded. There it is. That's the brand. This was leaked to the Chan boards. It showed up on Backchannel 17's account right after it was leaked, and then it showed up over here on Neon Revolt. Neon Revolt was first to have a web page dedicated to this. So Stormy Daniels has been branded with a Nexium brand, from what we can tell. So the background story on this was people were thinking, well, maybe this is some kind of big setup. Maybe Trump got them to bring Stormy Daniels out into the media so that she could, kind of drop the bomb on this stuff. But now it looks like that's not true. So, to recap over here, this is where Stormy Daniels got her Avenatti money. It's not to say that's the only money that she got for Avenatti. It's not to say that that's where the money that she got to pay Avenatti is going to go. But Avenatti says that this was a crowdsourced Stormy Daniels lawyer fee case. So just to get it in there, here's crowdjustice.com. Clifford's versus Trump court case, a.k.a. Stormy Daniels. Raised almost, that's $584,000 this woman raised. She's a prostitute. Okay, she's stripping right now. Okay, that's a lot of $1 bills, people. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole lot of $1 bills. So I just want to get this in there and show you this is who's paying me. This is who's paying Stormy Daniels Avenatti money. We are, okay, the general public. So moving on. If you have time, please check out real_Bill_Smith on Twitter. I've been trying to document things as I find them. I want to squeeze a few of these things into this video though, because I think it's the best place to get it in there. Okay, first of all, Justin Roiland is a hashtag. I just want to point that out. I was able to catch this on the mobile browser yesterday. That's 100 tweets per day. It's 1/5 of Justin Bieber. That's enough to trend. They do not want it to trend. You can't find it in the trending today. Okay, but it's a hashtag. So I just want to make that clear. Justin Roiland is a hashtag. Also, I want to make this clear. ADINA PITT, okay, this is ADINA PITT. This is the woman from Cartoon Network that runs the network, and she's responsible for greenlighting all new shows. And if you look over here, who is that? Now, I don't know if that's Justin Roiland or not over there. It's probably not, but it looks a lot like him. So I just wanted to kind of slide that in there. Actually, his name is Michael Loeb. Okay, but we're talking about ADINA PITT. She's the one who saw a pedophile cartoon and said, let's make $1 million. Right? Let's get Asian kids to jump up on tables and scream Pickle Rick. Let's bring back Szechuan sauce from McDonald's. That's what she did. This is ADINA PITT at the Cartoon Network. Okay, so if you are going to talk about Pedogate cartoons, Dan Harmon, Justin Roiland, or Rick and Morty, make sure that you tag at Cartoon Network every single tweet you make. I can't tell you how important it is. No one cares about Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon, okay? Even if we get them taken off of Rick and Morty. And I'm in favor of keeping the show because I like the show. I just don't want the pedo content, and I don't want the creators to be a part of that anymore. For obvious reasons, okay? So If we are going to continue to talk about this, make sure that at Cartoon Network is a central part of the conversation. Okay, so I discussed some of this. I wanted to slip this in there. I thought this was great. So yesterday, if you searched for at Justin Roiland's his handle, right? He won't tweet right now. He's scared to death. He knows that the moment he tweets, there's going to be a dog pile calling him a pedophile. So he's not going to tweet, okay? But he's also not going to remove himself from Twitter because that'll signal an even bigger problem here. Dan Harmon's already left. They don't want to alert their fan base, you know what I'm saying, about all this stuff, where the problems are. Okay, but I want to slip this in there just for posterity purposes. I consider this a win for Real Bill Smith on Twitter. You look for Justin Roiland's handle yesterday under top. There's my name right next to it. And a little message that says, here's where to go to watch the banned video that got me kicked off of YouTube. Full credit going to Dan Harmon, Justin Roiland, and the Cartoon Network. See, people act like this isn't a problem. And for, Cameron J.M. Clark bring this up. He's like, don't forget Jimmy Savile, who operated over on the BBC, was friends with the royal family, right? Jimmy Savile. They covered that up for like 20-something years. How many kids did Jimmy Savile rape on the BBC network, right? So if you want to talk about Jimmy Savile, make sure you always tag at BBC. Make sure that you know that the world can see that that's who paid and covered up Jimmy Savile. Because for me, as much as the behavior, it's the cover-up. It's the culture that allows it to operate. Okay, without the culture allowing it to operate, James Gunn isn't going to tweet stuff like this. Okay? This is a good tweet from Jordan Sather. You can find him at Jordan_Sather_. He's got a big following on Twitter. He's a good guy. He covers this stuff pretty well. A couple tweets from him, actually. I thought this was interesting. Talking about the elongated skulls, Jacob Rothschilds. I don't know the Shimon Peres guy yet, but that's a normal person's head, and this is the Conehead people. Okay, these are the people that rule over us. All right, these are left over from... Who knows where they're left over from? But this is what they used to look like. But, after centuries of breeding and keeping their genetics alive in one or just a few branches of humanity, this is what their heads end up looking like. They end up looking like Jacob Rothschilds. All right. Joe Rogan popped up yesterday. I'm gonna get to the stuff, I promise. Okay, but Joe Rogan popped up yesterday, and people said that he was talking to... Who was he talking to? Joe Rogan was talking to Tom Arnold on the Joe Rogan podcast. And someone wrote me this. This is from Anonymouse. It said, clearly they will try to frame real Donald Trump with a doctored video or audio. Q already warned us. I don't know, man. Is Joe Rogan a good guy? I find myself agreeing with half of what he says. He knows what the internet wants to hear, but I don't think Joe really wants to give up his mainstream credentials. So perhaps he's not exposing himself for a shill. Perhaps he's bringing up topics for discussion and maintaining his mainstream credentials. Just a thought. I caught this too. You know what? I'm not even going to get to the Justin Roiland stuff in this video. I will have to cut a separate video to show you all that stuff. I want to say this. I'm friends with Lift the Veil. Okay? We don't agree. He freaking destroyed me or made some really bad videos about me in June. But here's the thing. We're not all right about everything. I wasn't right. Assange never showed up. He was right to, I think Lift the Veil was right to cover that content. At this point, if you are covering Isaac Cappy, it doesn't matter if Isaac Cappy is telling the truth or not. It doesn't matter if he's a LARP. It doesn't matter if he was sent in to spike the story. It does not matter. Let me make that clear. It doesn't matter if anything Isaac Cappy says is true or not. Hollywood has a problem. Hollywood has a child rape problem, child pornography, Me Too campaign. Hollywood has a problem with sex. They sexualize kids. Anybody talking about this content, okay? Anybody talking about this content is good. Now, the Pizzagate stuff was spiked. This is how they spiked the Pizzagate campaign. I just want to make this clear because people have asked me. They spiked the Pizzagate campaign by getting the gunmen to go in there. Now, the Pizzagate gunman hit a kid in a crosswalk a couple months before. He was already tied up with the feds, local police and stuff. His dad was a movie producer. He was given a short prison sentence, much shortened prison sentence. Instead of getting clipped on the kid getting hit in the crosswalk, they let him walk in there with a gun. And the moment he walked in there with a gun and shot the floor, or whatever he shot, right, they said, oh, look, this is a dangerous idea. Shut down Pizzagate. And then, all right, I've already covered this multiple times. They got InfoWars Alex Jones to say it's all a big, fake, phony, whatever. And then once Alex Jones says that, they never have to report on it again. So your problem is not with Isaac Cappy. Okay, your problem is with the media control systems that are put in place to make sure communications don't hit bigger audiences. So the last line of defense, okay, in our network, the last line of defense to keep Isaac Cappy from hitting a mainstream article is InfoWars. It's Alex Jones. And that's how Alex Jones got people to not talk about the Arizona child trafficking camp stuff. I just want to bring that back up. And I don't know if the Arizona stuff was a child trafficking camp or not. It sure looked like a coyote camp where they would run illegal immigration through. I mean, one way or the other, it was worth taking a look at. And Alex Jones InfoWars said don't do it. So as long as Isaac Cappy doesn't have an InfoWars moment, the mainstream media can demonize him as long as they want. The mainstream media represents the left side of the country, and what we're doing represents the truth. So as long as Isaac Cappy doesn't get buried by InfoWars, okay, we don't have a problem. Okay, but shout out to Lift the Veil, man. Lift the Veil is the one that kind of gruesome, I don't want to say gruesome balls, but he was one of the first people to actually give Isaac Cappy a platform. Now, I did reach out to Isaac, Mr. Cappy there. I never got a response on Twitter, but he was in live streams with Lift the Veil. So this is why it's important to support people even if you don't agree with what they're saying. You know? As long as it's not CBS, okay, you got my support. So shout out to Nathan. Okay, I covered less Moonvis yesterday. And this is what happens whenever you get shut down. So I was approaching 16,000 views in an hour. And, this is the cap right there. You can kind of see it. And that's what happens when they shut you down. I mean, it just totally drops off, man. Killed my momentum. So I will be reporting on this stuff for the rest of the week, likely. This Dan Harmon stuff ain't going to go away, man. This Justin Roiland stuff is not going away. I promise you that. I won't give up until we get them either removed from the show, okay, or we get Cartoon Network to publicly condemn them. So that's what I'm up to. That's what I'll be doing. I want to show you something else's background because I want to let other people talk about something before I talk about it. But first, shout out to Megan Fox and PJmedia.com. They were the first borderline mainstream media publication to get this stuff up online. So we'll get normal people views on this. It's possible now we can get some drudge traffic. So shout out to Megan Fox. I think you can find her at Megan Fox Writer, I think, on Twitter. You can find her. She's over here. PJmedia.com. Okay, now I didn't have enough time to get into this. I apologize. It was kind of just a catch-up rundown, but this is what I will be talking about next. This is the real animated adventures of Doc and Mahrti. Okay, now this is some sick stuff. So Cartoon Network and Adult Swim saw this cartoon specifically and said, "Hey, let's make a show called Rick and Morty off of Doc and Mahrti. Just switch the names up a little bit, make them into a new show." Look, I want to show you this. Look, this is on YouTube. See it? It's on YouTube. 150,000 views. Right? You see that? Do you get what you're looking at? Do you get it? So Justin Roiland invented an entire storyline of cartoon characters, animated characters, in order to show you this one frame. That's the entire purpose of why it's about Doc and Mahrti and time travel, is so he can show you this one frame. That's it. It's on YouTube. Cartoon Network bought it to bring you Rick and Morty. Till next time, this is Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.